the funny part is that my feelings are never hurt, but it's just funny how much my point still stands that y'all still suck.
All right, boys, let's get this started. Ray, I got your notes that you left me, and I do want this to be fine. Like, I'll comply. This will be a nice, clean episode. No cursing, no temper tantrums, nothing too crazy. So,
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I like.
a nice, clean show for the kids.
There you
So,
go.
how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Kayfabe and Chill, the wrestling podcast that is barely about wrestling today. And I'm Chesco. To my left here, my right, your left, my right is Mr. CC Ephriam. How are you doing, big boss?
Chilling, man, living life, ain't good. But I got a couple of things I want to get off my chest and a couple of things, but we'll get to that later.
Interesting. Okay. I wasn't made aware of this, but
I know, me
we'll see.
neither.
We'll see what you got cooking.
Yeah.
And right below me here, or right on the screen, of course, nothing like that, is my good friend, the San Antonio Romeo, the secret celebrity of the podcast, Mr. Ray Carter, or might I say, Ray Mysterio the Third. How are you doing, man?
What's up? What's up? Y'all keep saying I'm a celebrity, bro. I'm broke. I got my bills, everything, bro. I ain't rich.
Well, we do know that Rey Mysterio is a deadbeat father, so
Oh yeah,
that argument doesn't really help your case here. I'm just gonna put that out there in the universe. Go ahead and check out the Kayfabe files if you haven't already. It's about 2 episodes going on now. But yeah, boys, look, look here,
What are we looking at?
look.
What are we looking at?
yeah. What are we looking at?
We're looking at three handsome gentlemen getting ready to talk about uh, some stuff. Let's talk about Elimination Chamber, man. I don't know. I don't have the time for it. My caffeine is running low, so I feel like I should recaffeinate, but forget it.
Oh,
Forget
whoa.
it. Forget
What'd you just
that.
do?
We're gonna keep going, boys, because it's the Elimination Chamber this past weekend. And you know what? I'll give it to them. I'll give it to them. They did some stuff that I was not ready for, that I was happy about, that I was excited about, just from looking at social media clips. I'm sure you guys are, if you're watching this show, you're tapped in. But boys, Mr. CC, Rey Mysterio the Third. Where would you guys like to start when it comes to Elimination Chamber?
I think we should start off with the men's chamber since it was the most. I wouldn't say it's the worst. It just had more surprises than anything. Because I
Yeah.
feel like the women were the kind of the meat and potatoes of the soup of the whole thing.
Hmm.
I think the women killed it more than the guys did, in my opinion. But I think the women should main event mostly every pay per view because they just put on better match qualities. But yeah, let's start with the guys.
Heck yeah. So of course, I don't know. Let's just start with the winner, Randy Orton, the Viper,
Brad,
the
Randall, Keith, Orton.
mm,
Oh.
um winning the Elimination Chamber in gigantic 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, yo. Dang, man. Goodness gracious, man. That's absolutely amazing.
I'm excited for him to win it. Like I'm being honest. I was like, fuck yeah, it's different.
I know I'm really trying to just not curse. That's why I'm may
Oh,
seem like I'm
sorry.
trying to be different. I'm different. I have a different energy, but no, man. Shout out to Randy Orton, man. 2026.
Look, Ephraim didn't get no notes from nobody, so he's gonna be cussing, screaming. Ain't no PG for me. Ain't no PG punk.
Mm.
We'll talk about that a little bit later.
But
Mm.
yeah, Ray, what'd you think? Wait, Ray? Ray KO, Ray Ken
Oh,
Keith Orton? Just
Ray
interesting.
Keith, yeah.
Look,
The Ray KO. Anyways, what did you think about Mr.
Oh,
Randy, your potential stepfather, the father who stepped up in place of Rey Mysterio, winning? That's got to be a proud moment as his love child.
no, not even close. But I was expecting LA Knight to win this Elimination Chamber.
Mm.
I really thought it was time that they were gonna give it to him. But of course. it's not best for business. And it just didn't work out that way. I was fine with Randy winning it. Javon was great. Trick Williams, his entrance honestly would have swayed me to go Trick to win it, but I thought it was good. I think it's the right decision just in terms of if they're not gonna give it to LA Knight, Randy's that next guy that you want to root for, especially now that AJ Styles and Cena, now that they're retiring, he's kind of the last of that breed that's still staying around. So to have him win it, dude, that was freaking awesome.
Yeah, you brought up Trick Willie, and let me just say this, like he is ready. He is ready to be a main event like next year if needed. Like he could main event so some sort of B tier PLE like very soon. So he's got that aura in Javon Evans. He's just such a I think it was Ephraim who mentioned he's very much like the Spider-Man of
Yep.
the WWE in terms of like he has the captures the imagination of kids and just has such a likable aura and is just very spectacular to look at, pun intended.
I mean,
But
look at his merch. He has the 6'7". I mean, like he's making sure.
that's why he's my favorite, dude. He's my favorite. He's
You
my
know,
favorite, dude. I love Javon. Six Jevin. Six
Uh,
Jevin.
nah, bro,
oh,
don't
geez.
make it work. Don't make
Don't
it
start.
work.
Six
Don't start.
Evan. Six seven
Oh,
Evans.
look, he made it work. He
Uh.
made it work. Look at that. He made it work. No, I think the best thing about Javon too is like, yeah, he's a real life superhero, and I think I was made a believer at Chamber because there's a move that he did. I think he did like a spinning corkscrew kick. I don't know
Yeah.
if y'all caught that, and I was like, "Jeez, Christ!" I was like, "Oh my god!" Like that was such a badass move. Whoops, sorry the language, but that was such a cool move. Like it
I
was crazy to see. I was like, "Damn, it's like Mortal Kombat."
I almost got scared when Logan botched it, like, because he
Oh
had to get
yeah.
him. I got scared for a second. I was like, bro, no, not like this. But luckily, he's good. So I was like, all right, cool.
Well, Logan needs to actually understand how to deliver that move because I've seen that like if he doesn't know really who he's wrestling, like if they're bigger than him or lengthier than him, but what do you call it? They're not. He's not really good at using the pulverizer, so it's kind of like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's a stretch that I'd be curious what you guys think about is Logan Paul taking out a lot of the fan favorites right away.
Yeah,
The
Dude,
took out half the field.
I was visibly upset just because I know it was for Bronson or Breaker, but you could have at least ditched it to have him at least one person I'm fine with. Three of them, I'm like, dude, come on.
can
Because
you
I'm pretty sure.
reenact how you looked? You said you were visibly upset. Could you mind showing us?
No, I don't like to get upset.
You don't like me when I'm angry.
Exactly. But no, it was just one of those things. I was just like, dude, like they could have at least had somebody else get eliminated from who was it? LA Knight could have eliminated somebody, except we gave it to Logan Paul, who's in a
My
vision.
my concern is wasn't LA Knight the first one to be eliminated from the chamber?
I think so.
I think
No,
that's I think so because I remember maybe it was Javon, but I feel like it was LA Knight. Maybe it was Javon.
it was Javon because Logan botched him, pinned him right there, and then Trick Williams didn't. Did he get right? Trick?
Yeah, he
Hmm.
got pinned. Yep.
Okay, and then I think it was LA Knight.
Ooh, LA Knight had a rough sequence. That's been
Yeah.
going all over the internet. I'm of the mindset, I don't know about my co-hosts, but I don't give a care about botches like that. It's it is what it is. They work crazy schedules and who.
What's that thing it's called? It's live performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You only
It's
get one
like
take.
yeah, it's pretty much what it is, man. You gotta give him credit. Like Finn Balor stepped on the ropes against Punk,
Yeah.
so it happens.
It happens. And look, I'm always gonna be ride or die for LA Knight. I don't care. I've seen people try to turn the tide against him the last couple months. I'm like, no, no.
So my question for y'all, and I'm trying to make this as quick as possible, is what do you see for the other five Elimination Chamber participants on the road to WrestleMania? What do you see them going to WrestleMania? Like, what's their
Well,
direction?
Okay, let's start with the
okay,
person
yeah.
who we haven't mentioned, but is going to be fighting a championship match somehow, some way this coming Friday. is Mr. Cody Rhodes. Are they gonna try to make this a Cody versus Randy thing and they're just kind of finessing this together or
From everything that because I know we've seen some stuff on it, if they're really going that route, more than likely they are setting that up.
okay. So that that is something we've been talking about, we want to see, but it's like see I am so curious how you guys are gonna feel about this, but it almost feels like no matter how anticipated and how much we want something, WWE will take such a weird route to get to it that it almost loses so much luster to it. So hypothetically, we're getting Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. Hypothetically, um, I feel like it's not they've got time. They've got time to make it hot, but it's not that like, oh shoot, kind of deal. I will say though, the finish of the EC match kind of got me excited, so I'm curious to see how they capitalize off this, but I don't know. It feels like,
I
you know,
I think it's gonna factor in is if Randy turns heel in that aspect. Because right now he's still a babyface, but he has
right.
that Cena momentum where regardless of what he does, the fans are gonna cheer for him. So I feel like if Randy wins it off of Cody, what you're thinking is, oh, it's cool, but maybe in Cody's story, you're like, oh shoot, like why would they give it to him? So it's just one of those you gotta either make him heel or make him do something where the crowd's kind of against him, but it's kind of hard nowadays because we're kind of stuck in nostalgia or looking back at a lot of these legends are retiring. We're like, yeah, we want
We're,
to
we're
get them
appreciating we're appreciating the wrestlers of what we got when we got them.
right. And so it's like one of those like if you want to keep it story, you gotta do something to spice it up.
Or, what I think about when you just say that is that everyone talks about 2009 Randy Orton. He was a menace. We know. So it's been said many times. But Thunderdome Randy Orton was an animal. I was watching a compilation of his greatest Thunderdome moments and just
Hmm.
seeing like how, he's yelling at Christian and saying like, I didn't want to do this. Why did you come back? And I'm thinking like we when Randy's this whole babyface run that we've been getting from Randy, we have barely gotten any sort of character, like we've never everyone's screaming the Voices song as they should. It's one of the best theme songs of all time. But we don't get Randy talking about the Voices or letting the Voices consume him or letting the Voices, dictate what he does. So I would love to see some sort of dynamic, and maybe you don't even have to turn him heel. Maybe you just have him be a baby face, but at times, them Voices be talking, and
Right.
like that's how he could explain like that's why I RKO'd you, Cody. Like I didn't mean it, I didn't mean that. And the whole time it's like the Shawn Michaels, John Cena type thing. Oh, we know track history says everything. He's gonna turn heel on you, Cody, and as good intentioned as he might be, so I don't know. That's just where my mind went with you mentioning that. Mr. CC, what do you think about how this is all playing out? Do you have any thoughts or just anything?
I mean, look, with Drew, I think Drew's been a good champion. I would feel like Drew would be the perfect man to go face Randy at Mania to be the
Mhm.
ultimate heel. But I think, Cody and Randy kind of have more of a big name Mania feel. And I think Drew has a lot of unfinished stories right now going on with Jacob, and then the whole thing with Jacob, and then with Cody. I think that final match, even though the three stages of hell was supposed to be the final nail in the coffin of that rivalry, but Cody Cody's ultimately still in there, and he got screwed by Drew, so it opens the door back up of Pandora's box. So yeah, I feel like at some point I do want a Fatal Four. I feel like it's fresh. I do feel like those four guys can compete for that championship. I think all four guys have a legitimate, you know, I guess stake in that match. I would love to
Mhm.
see Jacob versus Randy versus Drew versus Cody because Drew is this type of champion where he's the chicken shit heel is the best way to put it. Is that he's gonna try to avoid everything to defend his title against three other guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the best type of heel you can do. And it's a great story to interject with, what he did to Jacob and what he's doing to Cody. And then remember, he screwed Randy Orton, or he tried to. And if you all remember, he got hit in the head with a title from Drew. So
Mm.
again, all four stories interlocked against Drew McIntyre, and I think a Fatal Four is a little different. I think it would be great. It puts it's a mega star match, in my opinion, for SmackDown. Those are your four top guys on the SmackDown roster.
Mm. The next, oh, sorry, did you have,
No,
did
I
you want to finish?
honestly think I'm thinking in my head, but I'm like, no, dude, I think that's the best way to do it because a Fatal Four is great. Yes, we want to see Cody versus Randy at Solo Mania, but I mean, come on, like that's the story that this company is building up to is them four.
Yeah, and also it's a great bridge. It's a great intermediary moment between Randy and Cody to get them to the
Mm-hmm.
heel aspect. It's also Jacob's first main event. It's also Drew potentially defending his champion or his championship. And I think there's a way where everyone gets what they need and the fans get what we want. So yeah, if that's what they're building to, I'm excited. If they finally give us Randy versus Cody, then I'm gonna be curious about that, and the build's gonna be cool. The next guy I want to talk about though, I think there's a couple of different ways you could go about it. I want to talk about where Logan Paul goes from here.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I
obviously the the visionary Seth freaking Rollins
Mm-hmm.
uh came back with his Shield chair and hit Paul Heyman in the Shield arena with the Shield chair and the Shield hoodie. So I mean, look, in case you didn't tell, it was a reference to him breaking apart the Shield. And do we run that back at WrestleMania? What do you guys think? The vision is kind of all over the place, but where are
It
y'all
just
heads at?
confirms John Moxley's coming back. He's gonna save everybody. No,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
uh,
yeah.
and unfortunately, that's the route you're gonna have to go to, regardless, because there's no way you leave Seth Rollins out of a WrestleMania. So I think
especially if he's 100% healthy.
exactly. So I think right now, because I really doubt they'll have something with Austin Theory. It's just too, no, it's random. He doesn't really have as much beef with them as right now with Logan, I feel like, but we
My
like,
my thing is that we already had it at Mania,
yeah.
and we don't
Mm.
need it again. So I guess look. I hate to cut Ray off, but the best turn of action is giving him Brock Lesnar,
Oh, wait, give who
Seth
to
Rollins,
Brock?
Brock Lesnar.
Oh, and who in your head? Who do you think goes over in that?
I think you give it to Seth because Seth has always been that. Again, people are gonna be in the comments like he's already fought Brock at Mania and da 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 da, and they had a big old feud. I think this is a different level. It's kind of like Roman and Brock, all those years of different characters clashing with the big dog versus Brock Lesnar, the Beast, and then you have the Beast that's a face versus the Tribal Chief. So I think it's kind of like Rock and Brock, no Roman, sorry, not Rock, Roman and Brock rivalry,
The
just a
Rock and
different
Brock
level.
Express?
The Rock and Brock is right, yeah. But yeah, I still think it's another level to it, and I think Seth takes it because that's the main thing. That's the beast. You know how like in most video games you have to fight that final boss at the end.
Hmm.
I think Brock Lesnar's at that stage where he's no longer the final boss. He's the first level boss. Like I used to be this big bad, and I'm gonna be the one that destroyed you the first time. And Seth's gonna conquer that. He's like, I've done it before. I'm gonna do it again. Then he goes
Hmm.
to Logan and then Austin, maybe, and then he'll go through Bronson, and then he finally gets to Braun Breaker maybe at SummerSlam. Who knows? If the Vision's still around.
Yeah, I think of it as any anime fan will get what I'm saying. The power scaling of it all, where
Yeah,
the villain that you meet, Frieza in the Frieza arc, he's this amazing final boss villain, and then you get to the next arc, and it's like, wait, he's back, and also they just kind of took care of him like that,
it's a
just to
trend.
prove,
Yeah, surpass the
yeah.
power level.
Right, right. So yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Plus, it also makes sense. Brock's getting older, this and that. I think with the Brock and Seth thing, I think that's it's a cool match. It's a WrestleMania worthy match. I think where they might get some pushback is like the matches they could have gotten instead. Like obviously
Yeah,
everyone wants Gunther and Brock. Everyone wants Obafemi versus Brock. Um, and yeah, no, I'm curious to see. Like I said. This whole Seth Rollins, Logan Paul thing, there's a lot of intriguing things they could do. Like I was thinking about how Austin Theory is kind of someone called him the lock from the WWE 2K25 storyline, like the most my career as type storyline. And I'm thinking, what if it's the double play? What if he's a double agent? Maybe you get Logan Paul and you find someone from the Vision who can wrestle enough to be like, who's healthy enough to wrestle half a match, and you have Theory and Seth versus Logan Paul and take your pick. And I was like, interesting. That
You
could be
know,
cool.
I thought of something too right now. Imagine they had Gunther kind of take Logan and Austin Theory under his wing, and maybe we get an Imperium. But that's just me fantasy booking in my head.
Yeah, you and I, we've been big supporters of needing a Imperium 2.0. And that would be interesting. Like I would be interested to see like what does Gunther think of Logan Paul being the
Hmm.
honorable heel that he is, and then Austin Theory, the most like potential. He is literally like potential in a whole wrestler. Like that's all his character is right now. So I mean,
He's
yeah, look,
the young legend killer is the way I look at him. He's the young Randy Orton.
yeah, yeah. So he just needs that Randy Orton, Mick Foley type
Hmm.
feud to really elevate him into okay. And they tried to do that with John Cena, but it just didn't work out, man. It didn't work out.
Well,
So,
well,
you know,
maybe you're right because he did. Randy did stumble after Foley. It's until he got to Taker is when I think Randy should have kicked it off.
yes. Yeah, yeah.
Because I'm thinking, damn, who's Theory's Taker? Who's that guy in that locker room? I would love to see a I don't know. Maybe Roman? Roman versus Theory? I don't know. But Roman won't be
Ooh.
around. Theory will have to carry that.
Yeah, that or Theory is Theory has goes through his suffering succotash moment. His reward is finally getting Roman Reigns. Like, there's a lot of things. Like, I really am rooting for Theory. It's why for me, him remaining a heel is hmm. But there's some interesting things you can do with that. There's some interesting things you can do. So curious how that's going to play out. Ray, who's the next person you want to discuss? Just like their road to WrestleMania in this Elimination Chamber. We'll probably go one more
Yeah.
and then we'll get to the ladies
Yeah.
and some of the other matches.
Yeah.
But yeah, who most interests you out of the remaining people?
I think it's somebody that we've both been dying to see get a push, and it's LA Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, this I feel like we always say it every year. This is the year that they get pushed.
It's the Lakers, or the Cowboys
It
and the Lakers.
not
This
the
is our
cow
year.
nah, it's more like Cowboys, buddy. But we're always trying to push LA Knight and we think he rightfully deserves it, and he does. But it's one little move or one little thing that sets it off, and you're like, nah, creative is like, nope, we can't do it. He botches it. We can't allow that. But I feel like his road to WrestleMania, I don't even know what you do. I
I
don't see
mean,
him going after the IC title.
I've heard rumblings of him going against Brock.
But that's so like random though.
I just would well the whole point of an open challenge is that it's random. So but what I would say is that I just need LA Knight to absolutely just destroy Brock on the mic. Like just say
Oh
all
no,
the
he could do
things,
that.
just say
Yeah.
the things, all the things, man. Like, oh, I know it's NBA season, but uh I know a wrestler in the ring who's taking charges right now. Everyone goes, "Oh, is he talking about that?" And I'm like, "Oh man, I would love to see LA Knight. I think that would be enough to elevate him to that next level if he were to perform how I think he can perform. So that would be interesting.
I
That
said,
would be
hey
interesting.
now.
Hey, I said, hey now.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I feel he's in a spot to win a championship. Maybe not the top one yet. Maybe he could go after the IC. He's already did United States, maybe tag team, but I feel like you're just kind of going that Jey Uso route. He wins the big one, send him straight back to the tag team. And it's
Send a
like
ch
that. Go ahead.
You
you
know,
just sent a chill down my spine saying LA Knight going down the Jey Uso
But
route.
I feel like that's the thing because as
uh,
much as we both see it, like they both have that slogan, yeah, yeet, but
yeah,
they're
Yee, the
not
tag team
they're
name.
they're
Yeah,
not
Yee.
they're not doing anything with it. And like I'm a big J guy, but there are times where it's like, all right, we gotta figure out what we're doing with this character because it could be stale. So his road to WrestleMania, it's one of those. There are a lot of routes he could go towards, but it's just creative. Will they let him go down those routes?
I think the best route for LA Knight was to win the chamber and face McIntyre. I
No, yeah,
think that man had the best shot to have a story with Drew because they've always had beef with each other. They grew up, and I mean, they wrestled in TNA. They were a tag team at some point. So like, it's a great story. You can have LA Knight put Drew McIntyre put over LA Knight. That's just what happens, and I think we look at it because LA Knight has no direction. Is the best way to say it. Like what Ray was saying, he doesn't fit the IC title picture. He doesn't fit the tag team picture. He doesn't fit the main event picture. Even though I think LA Knight would be great with a big world title around his waist. So like I don't know. Maybe it is Brock and they give us versus Seth versus Logan again. And I'm really hoping we try to avoid that. I mean, shit, I'd rather take Logan. I mean, Seth Rollins versus Paul Heyman. Shit, give me that.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, no, I worry there's not I don't worry about wrestlers like for their lives, but I worry about their characters and like, how stuff's gonna age. Like I think of like there's like the characters we look back on, like the Mr. Kennedys and all this
Oh my
stuff
god.
who, people talk about, oh, they were a flash in the pan and they had a moment, but oh, if you knew about if you're watching at the time, they were hot. And man, LA Knight. I just really like LA Knight, man. So
Dude,
I would like to see him do some.
and
Anyways,
he has
he brought up Kennedy and that one hurt my soul. Like I grew up in that era of Mr. Kennedy and I love him.
had the
Like,
Money in the Bank
yeah,
briefcase like locked and loaded, and then unfortunately got a misdiagnosis on an elbow injury, and soon enough, here comes Rated R Superstar with the Money in the Bank. It's tough, man. The wrestling business. It's easy come, easy go. So I'm hoping LA Knight, finds an opportunity, sneaks into the IC title scene, maybe the heavyweight title scene. I don't know. He just looks really good with a title. That's all I'm gonna say. And he would flaunt that thing too, like just like
oh
you know
yeah.
what? You know what? Let him fight Liv and Stephanie. Give me it.
that caught me so off guard. Just imagining him pulling the Rhea Ripley from last year, where Liv and Stephanie signed the contract, and he comes in and signs his name on the contract as well. And he's like, "It looks like it's gonna be a triple threat." Yeah.
I said, hey
Yeah.
now, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. That took me off guard. Um, so LA Knight, we're okay. I'm pivoting my answer. I want him to be challenging for the women's heavyweight title. And speaking of the women's title, look, we got action, boys. We got heat. We'll get to the heat in a second, but we'll just say real quick, as Ephraim mentioned, banger match from the ladies
Banger.
for the EC Chamber. For I keep saying the EC Chamber, the Elimination Chamber match. Raquel did her
From
Big,
Las
thing.
Chicas. Yep.
big mommy cool.
Big Mommy cool. Tiffany, look, I've always been a Tiffany believer. It's just her booking can be whatever, whatever, but she did her thing. But and then obviously coming
The
out of it
broken freaking nose, by the way. She broke her nose.
with a broken freaking nose. And the emerging from all the mess is Mommy
Mami.
Rhea
Rhea Ripley.
Ripley.
Wait. I want give me one more second. Say that again, and then I'm gonna point to something. Say it one more time, guys.
Okay.
I
The
wonder why.
winner of the Elimination Chamber match is Rhea Bloody Ripley.
Now, for the viewers at home that can't see it, I have a whole poster of mommy on my
He's
wall.
he's he's pointing to it like it's the WrestleMania sign.
That's pretty much what it is.
Hey man, look, I think we all called it. But Rhea Ripley, she's the people's champ right now. She is the biggest superstar the WWE has. So of course, let's go ahead and get this big matchup, Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill. So first of all, before we get to that feud, thoughts on the match?
Like,
I mean, the women killed it, in my opinion. I think
yeah.
All of them had chemistry. I think it was very hardcore. Even Kiana James, when people were complaining that should have been Charlotte,
Yeah, yeah.
Kiana killed it. She's meant to. Her and Tiffany just have chemistry that I see. Probably other people are like, oh, I didn't see it because they probably weren't paying attention. But those two are very much the same, similar in athleticism. So I love it. I can see it very well. Raquel is the big powerhouse. I feel like she delivered her great moments. Rhea, of course. Tiffy's doing her thing. So I think overall, I mean, all six women did great. I know I'm missing two more, but you mean those are my highlights. Those are my superstars of the night.
Yeah. Alexa Bliss and Asuka, of
Asuka.
course. Yeah, yeah. Um, Ray, any thoughts on the match?
No, I mean, Ephraim kind of said what I was gonna say. I mean, Raquel, I really was hoping she'd win it. I know it was gonna go towards Rhea, but I really feel like she's put in a lot of work, especially with her character. Was it since last year and a little bit this year? So it would have been nice to see her, but not mad at the decision at all. It makes sense. It's a match that fans have been wanting ever since Jade came into the WWE. So I mean, I'm looking forward to it. And then of course, if we're gonna talk about what I think we're gonna talk about, it makes it a little bit more interesting.
Well, I want to like run it back a little bit to that final two of Tiffy and Rhea. Like I said, those two are my favorites in the women division right now. I think they have great chemistry. So seeing them like be the final two is kind of like, yeah, Tiffy deserve. I could see Tiffy winning, but I also could see Rhea winning. But the way I look at it, I was like, yeah, this is Rhea's match to win because she's never won one of these. She's only been in, I think that's first ever one, I believe. I don't remember if she was in the other one before, but
She's been in them before, yeah.
okay, so that's her second. So that's her first one. So, but her and Tiffy have great chemistry. Those are two big, women names in wrestling today. So it was great seeing them go one on one inside a match like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And as Ray alluded to before here, I'm going to put it up on the screen real quick. Um, on the Tron, if you will. So we've got action boys between Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill. I think, two absolute tanks, two absolute units of the women's um, division, and also two very charismatic people in their own ways. Um, and I have my thoughts on what this could be, but just right here, we'll say, as you can see here, there's some Twitter action here. Uh, Jade Cargill was calling out Rhea for being the second option for not having a title. And Rhea Ripley then responded with a clip where Jade Cargill was sort of fangirling, like, hey, I would love a match with Rhea. She's great. She does all this stuff. Basically, yeah, Rhea Ripley was pointing out, hey, you're a fan of me. Classic, like, Conor McGregor type vibe, or like, oh, you're a
Right.
fanboy. Um, and
Who the fuck is this
then,
guy?
dude, is that guy? And so and then it escalates, and it all is over social media. It's Twitter fingers, and this is where I think it reaches a turning point. Is Rhea Ripley says, "All you seem to do is talk, and that's literally it." Which Jay Cargill then responds, "Talk like the hours you spend talking to creative," alluding that Rhea Ripley may be Rhea Hogan. That's interesting. And Rhea Ripley responds, and then it escalates. Rhea Ripley goes on to make posts on Instagram stories saying, "Hey, I get that you want to break the fourth wall, whatever, whatever, but don't lie on my name." That whole thing. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven get involved, and now we're all just kind of sitting here wondering the age-old question, the question that every wrestling fan loves to just, you know, take and run and to their annoyance, like ruining their own enjoyment of the product is this a shoot or a work? Let's go around the table here, boys. Shoot or work?
I think it's a little. I want to say it's a little bit of both, but I could see it being a shoot.
Okay. Mr. CC.
I'm gonna go with the work, just because I think these two women have no, world story connected to them. So I think something like a little Twitter beef and creative, like you're always in creative, is a great way to turn it. Just like what Roman did with Punk with the title, when Punk was holding that world title behind him, he created a
Mm,
false, a false problem, a false dilemma that causes more tension between the two wrestlers. So I think that's just something it is to have more beef between them, to have more stakes in the match.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a trick answer, not shout out to Trick Willie. Is I think it's one of those worked shoots. Those shoot works. Those worked shoots where I think John Cena was talking about it with Bill Simmons, where him and AJ Styles were talking about, hey, what's our story going to be like? Oh, to see who's better. And John Cena said, no, that's not good enough. Let's go to our trailers. Let's search for 2 hours, see if we can find up any sort of past headlines and stuff that we can bring up. And they couldn't find anything. And then AJ Styles goes up to him and says, hey, this is AJ, not Alan, my real name. I want to I want to go with a storyline where I say, like, look, in ring, I'm better than you. And if I wasn't doing all this stuff in New Japan and TNA, I would have been in your place. And Cena was like, okay, that's cool because it's real. There's some very real thoughts in there. Um, so with that being said, I would like to believe that, as Ephraim said, there isn't like blood feud type vibes, but this is a nice foundation to just put these two titans together, and then maybe as time goes on, we can start to build something. And this is already like pretty compelling stuff. It feels real. That's all that matters to me. I honestly don't care if this is if this is a work or a shoot. Obviously, I care if these two ladies are professional in the ring and can like take care of each other. But they will be. They're two pretty solid wrestlers, and they'll do their thing. So as long as no one gets hurt, I'm all for it.
It's a big money match with big money feels.
Yeah, yeah. And honestly, look, give this like one more year to cook. This could main event WrestleMania. This could main event a WrestleMania
Mhm.
night.
Best we could do is 4 or 5 months. That's it.
We're gonna have the blow off match at like Crown Jewel.
If it's even there.
I'm sorry, I can't do this anymore, Ray. Fuck that. Fuck that shit, dog. Okay, so to lean into something I mentioned earlier. Um, to me, Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill could literally be running back Batista and John Cena vibes.
Ooh.
So John
Well,
Cena, the charismatic. Sorry, what was
mhm.
that even?
No, I agree. Keep going.
Yeah. So Rhea Ripley being the charismatic, the charismatic baby face with her own distinct style, good with the kids, face of the franchise type vibes. And then you have Jade Cargill, who in my head is a lot like Batista, hasn't had the storyline up to this point that, say, Batista had with Evolution. But Jade Cargill already has that superstar presence about her. We know this. So giving her the opportunity here with the Universal title to establish herself, she's only had one title defense, but like we're
Yeah.
kind of in a situation where we don't need that.
Jesus.
And she can look having that dynamic between an absolute like you watch Jade Cargill like 5 seconds of it, you're like, okay, I get it. Same with Batista. You watch him for 5 seconds, you're like, I get it. Versus John Cena slash Rhea Ripley, two people who have earned our respect over a number of years. And look, like I think you have something that could, hey, TKO, you're interested in printing money, right? This is gonna print you oodles of noodles of dollars. This is a feud that could really take you to take women's wrestling to great heights. So all that to say, I really hope that they're able to make the best of this situation, whether it is a shoot or a work. And I hope that they have a damn good match at WrestleMania because, oh, this could be big, you guys.
I,
This could be
I
really big.
I also think it's the biggest thing for Jade to have right now since Bianca isn't back yet. Because I think we're all waiting for Bianca to return to take that title off of Jade. So I think Rhea is the one that makes the most sense of like, yeah, I can build her up, I can make her the star and put her over, so she can have a legitimate threat as champion. You know what I mean? Make this reign legitimate. And I think that's the best thing for Jade to have because she's had one title defense. She defeated Jordan Grace, which is, she's an up and coming wrestler. Even though we know she's great and then Independence and TNA, we all know that. But when you come to the big leagues on SmackDown or Raw, you know what I mean? People like to diverse and you know what I mean? Jade just haven't really had that opportunity to show what she's got against a big name star like Rhea or Charlotte or like the likes of Stephanie. You know what I mean? So this is gonna be a big test for her, and I'm excited for it. Even though I'm waiting, I'm Rhea all the way. I think y'all know that. So especially in my household. So
Yeah, I mean she's literally watching over you, so I would hope so. And yeah, man, I really hope that we get an absolute banger. Like this could be one of those feuds that we look back on and see like, okay, this took Rhea Ripley and established her as a main event. She already is, but like the one of the like a certified main event all-timer type deal, like into that next tier. And then you have Jade Cargill, who is like knocking on the door of being an A-lister or at least an A-minus lister. And I think this could get her there. So, time will
I,
tell. Time
the
will
only
tell.
thing the only thing I would like to see on the way to WrestleMania is have Jade run through that SmackDown Women division and kind of have her
Mm,
run through like Michin, and then uh damn, what's her name? BFAB. Have
yeah,
her run
yeah.
through Candice LeRae. Have her run through some of the roster and be like, no one's able to touch me. You know what I mean? I already beaten all y'all before.
I thought
Like
she'd
have
do that
her.
already.
Well, she's beaten BFAB, but
She's
she
being
hasn't
Michin
beaten
too.
Michin,
Yes, she
but
has.
not for the title.
Oh, you're saying
Is
for
what
the
I'm
title.
saying.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Have her
Yeah.
kind of make up for the last time she hasn't defended her belt. Be like, y'all complaining that I haven't defended my title. I'll defend my title every week on SmackDown until like 2 weeks before WrestleMania. And that's when, Rhea's like, I'm the real threat to you. You know what I mean? Even though we all know
Right.
she's a real threat. But
Right.
it'd be a great little build up for that more because Rhea's the only one that might be able to stop her.
Yeah, for however many weeks we have, give her the Goldberg treatment, build up that
Mm-hmm.
number. It just looks sexier for like to have like four title defenses right next
Mm-hmm.
to your title reign. So she can knock out a couple of them, knock out Julia, you know,
Chelsea.
Chelsea. So just do that. Have a banger feud. Keep doing with this social media stuff. I love this stuff. And yeah, I'm digging it. Look, this is new kayfabe, boys. This is new kayfabe according to Triple H. So you know what? Let's do it. Let's get it done. You know, hold on. Series. I really don't care, Siri.
Punk and Balor were a classic
Okay.
match as well.
Sorry, Siri took over my audio. What did you just say?
CM Punk and Finn Balor.
Ooh, yes. Hey man, Punk can still go. Punk can still go, man. I love it. I love it. And shout out to Finn Balor.
Definitely shout out.
Shout out to that badass entrance that Punk had too, by the way.
Oh, yep.
Mm. And also, speaking of, let's talk about the WWE's power couple. Like my absolute, everyone talks about Seth and Becky, and I love Seth and Becky. But
Mm-hmm.
God, oh, AJ Lee and CM Punk. I just love those two, man. Seeing them together, seeing them on Hot Ones, seeing together that they have the IC title reign. And I'm gonna pull up a photo that might get this stream pulled down, but
I mean, I have a complaint to form with that match.
okay.
So whenever you're ready to me to talk about it, I'm ready. So I'll hold off until you tell me when.
Oh, is there a
Is it
uh
Becky?
It's about Becky. Yep, a complaint about that match that I have an issue with.
I wonder what it could be.
I wonder
okay?
what it could be. Yeah,
I just wanted to show this off real quick. Shout out to CM Punk, man, living his best life.
that's my wallpaper right now, guys. I'm being 100% for real.
Oh, I'm sure this goes well with your coworkers. But hey, man, like I said, I just wanted to give my flowers to AJ Punk, CM Lee, however you want to say it, because I love those two. So shout out to you guys. All right, Ephraim, I'm getting comfortable. I'm getting settled. I don't. Maybe this is the thing you were talking about before. Maybe not, but I am
No, no,
comfortable.
no, no,
Oh, okay. Let's.
no. My
But
complaint is with that ref, Jessica Carr.
I knew it. I knew
the
it.
crooked ref.
Why? Why did she stop when AJ was about to get thrown into it? She made sure Becky didn't throw AJ into that ring rope. But as soon as Becky flew into that ring rope, she let it happen. Don't get me wrong, I'm an AJ Lee fan, been since I was a kid. But my point is, you let the greatest intercontinental women's champion of all time,
The
not one time,
greatest.
two
Two
times,
times.
and the greatest. Again, I'm gonna put greatest really up there, and then like the greatest champ ever. And it's not just me saying it. It's not just Chesko saying it. It's ESPN.
Sports
Even
Illustrated.
Michael Jordan put it on his Twitter that Becky Lynch is the greatest champion ever. So the fact that Jessica Carr is able to do this and, screw over my champion, my greatest Intercontinental champion, Becky Lynch ever, she's better than, she's better than Jeff Hardy, better than CM Punk held the belt, better than Rollins held the belt. She is the greatest IC champion in history. So I don't understand why Jessica Carr still has a job.
I don't either. And you know what? You know what I hear? You know what I hear? I hear opportunity to cyberbully Jessica Carr for taking away a title from our greatest of all time. The GOAT, Becky Lynch. Again, I apologize, Ray, but what the fuck, man?
Mm-mm.
Absolutely.
My lawyers have reached out to me to help Becky, and Becky said, "No, it's okay. My lawyers are top of the game, and I don't need your help, but I got it. Thank you for being a supportive fan." That's what she told me personally. She told Las Pumas to tell me to let me know that.
How much is she paying y'all?
Hey, man,
Becky does not pay us for nothing.
This
Don't
is for
treat
the
her like
love of
that.
the game. This is for the love of the
I
game.
don't know.
For the
It sounds
love
like
of our GOAT. For the love of Becky Lynch. Shout out to Becky. Look, you may have been screwed, but you'll always be a champion in our eyes and in Ray's eyes. But he's in denial right now. I don't know what's going on with him.
I
But
had AJ
we
winning the
believe
whole
it.
thing.
We believe in you, Becky. We've always believed you.
If you
And
want to sue Ray, we're 100% with you. We'll join a podcast with you, Becky. We'll kick him out and add you.
we will. You know how people sit on either side of whoever they side. We will be sitting on Becky Lynch's side in that lawsuit. And if Ray wins, we'll just be shaking our head. It's a crooked ref or a crooked system like this crooked ref Jessica Carr.
You know what I just thought of? Ray, how do we not know that you paid Jessica Carr to screw over Becky Lynch?
Because
He's
I'm
got
broke.
connections. He's got connections. Rey Mysterio the third.
Nah.
He goes back to, like I said, okay, we're putting things together, right? So we recorded last week's episode on Wednesday because Ray had to catch a flight on Friday. Ray's backstage in Chicago.
He was in Chicago.
Elimination
I forgot
Chamber.
about that.
Yeah, he's in backstage at Elimination Chamber. He says, "Hey Jessica, I know Becky, greatest of all time, might defend her title. Fuck all that. Fuck all that. Fuck all that. Go ahead and." Don't let, and screw her over one time, just for me, just from Mysterio, from a Mysterio, like, call it an inside job. And then sure enough, what happens. And now look at him with a big old smile on his face because he's devious.
I'm just, y'all have too much time because I would have never came up with anything like that right there. AJ was just better. There's no doubt. AJ was better.
I think you need to understand that Becky's not gonna be happy for this, and when you know what, we'll just let it be. We'll let it be.
Yeah,
she can talk to my lawyer. I'll say that she can talk to my lawyer.
Look, Ephraim, we're gonna be getting a very loud phone call from Becky, considering what Ray says. So thank you, Ray.
We have to work with this guy.
Yeah,
thank you for
Jesus.
that. She'll probably want you off. We're gonna have to try to my best to keep you on.
She's gonna say, "Hey, that Ray guy." Out of there. But look, Becky, we believe you. It's a crooked system, it's a crooked world out there. Moving off of that, there was another thing that happened this past weekend that I would say was big news, something that we very much anticipated, at least a reveal of, is what's in the box. Shout out to Brad Pitt and
What's in the box?
And look, I had my theories. Of course, Ray flying out to Chicago, Elimination Chamber. I'm like, that's interesting. That's interesting. And I thought it was going to be Ray sitting on a chair in a box, just spectating the whole thing. But of course, Triple H did not give me what I wanted. So instead, we got none other than the demon himself. Very nice guy, but also a very evil guy. Danhausen. And the reaction was very fascinating. I think a lot of people had their theories. People talked about Chris Jericho. People talked about
oh brother, Chris Jericho.
So many. There were a lot of theories going around, and so unfortunately, You know, if you're tapped into the wrestling spaces outside of the WWE bubble, you know who Danhausen is. You're like, oh wow, okay, he's in WWE now. Great, cool. But of course, I call it the WWE bubble for a reason because not a lot of people were aware of his work. There was so much anticipation, and for Danhausen, who I put it up on screen here. My man, Mr. CC,
Hello.
screenshotted and shared here. Um, and as you can see here, what he wrote was very interesting. He said, to the WWE fans that booed this man, y'all can, in the words of Shawn Michaels and Triple H, suck it. And I'm gonna let you speak for in a second. However, I'd say the responses were very interesting. There's a lot of them. See, most of us don't know who he is. If there was any booing, it's not because of who he is, it's because of the buildup didn't match the payoff. Only someone who watches AEW or any other wrestling brand he's been on would like this. For those who only watch WWE, which is normal, we don't know who he is, so no reaction. Interesting. Love me some Danhausen. All the haters are cursed. Shout out to that person. Um, and we got a bunch of hate, man. Someone said Zilla Fatu. So and there's a lot of the ones that booed clearly hoped it was Jericho. It's not that deep. Um, th- Someone hurt apparently Mr. CC's feelings. I find that very interesting. So a lot of different responses, mainly people that are trying to defend the WWE and cape and do all this stuff. And if you care to read through the reviews yourself, go ahead, check out, as you can see here, Mr. Rio's Punk um, on Threads. You can follow us on Threads as well, me as well, Cheslito. But with that all being said, I say all that to set the stage for a man that I love so dearly and know quite intimately. We've explored each other quite intimately. But now is not the time for that. Now is the time for Mr. CC, Mr. Cougar Connoisseur's response to the WWE universe. I give you the floor.
So I want to set this for a fact, so y'all can see what shirt I'm wearing first, and let you know how funny it was to get all these responses. So let me set the mood real quick. So give me 1 second. So we're just gonna turn this off, and then so dear WWE universe. So let's start this off. You're mad at me for saying y'all suck. And the funny thing about this all is that how do I suck when I immediately called y'all out? And the response that I got was nothing but hatred and making fun of how I look and how I talk. And some of y'all said you hurt my feelings. No. You never hurt my feelings. The funny thing is, I hurt y'all feelings. Look at the comments. 274 comments. Most of them are making fun of everything that I stand for, saying that I'm idiotic, I'm stupid, I don't understand wrestling. Mind you, I've been in this game since I was 5 years old. I grew up with it. I watch it, I breathe it, I even learned how to do it. I'm pretty sure you guys are at home in your mom's basements trying to figure out how you're going to pay your mom back for the rent that she probably covered for you. Maybe you're trying to finish the bag of Doritos for or actually, not the bag of Doritos, your fourth bag of Doritos. So I want to say this. You guys do not know me. You don't understand anything about me. You guys are fickle as they come. When I said y'all suck, I meant every word of it. Y'all went into my comments and cried about it. You wanted a 54-year-old Jericho to come back out of that box? I'm sorry, but you missed the point of what wrestling is. You put over new stars. Jericho's past his prime, sweethearts. Danhausen, as much as I like him, he's just a comedy character, and I get that. I understand that. I totally do. But Jericho ain't it. He never will be it anymore. He's done with the business. So you guys are fickle. It's very, very annoying to have to say this on my own podcast. And mind you, I have a podcast. Y'all don't. Because you're too scared to be on camera with your double chins. Actually, scratch that, triple chins. So next time you're in my comments talking about I don't know nothing, you need to look in the mirror and understand that you guys are ignorant fans. And what Chesko said previous in the WWE bubble, yeah, that just proves that you guys watch WWE alone, and that's it. Venture out watching wrestling. But again, this idea that you guys are the best, you're not. I'm the best. We're the best at this. So stay in your lane, and I'll stay in mine. But it was fun rage baiting, y'all.
Mm. Mm. I want to put the ether beat behind that because look, man, we have made our position clear on how we feel about not just WWE, not just about Triple H, but also the fans of the product. And I think we just got exhibit letter, insert letter here. Like we just got another example of just how much, what the difference between a WWE fan and a wrestling fan. And look, I don't mean to say it is your right to boo or whatever, or to be disappointed in maybe how he was debuted, but to take all that energy and be so negative about something that we haven't really seen much of. And then on top of that, he had a pretty cool debut on Monday Night Raw. And like
Yeah.
like an actual storyline debut or just like really showing off his gimmick. And so with that being said, um, I agree with it. I back everything that Mr. CC says. I think a lot of the negative reviews, if you're like us, you will go ahead and check out the responses and just laugh along with us at how utterly stupid certain people can be.
And
And
and don't get me wrong, it was funny. I wasn't crying and throwing a fit in my room. I was really laughing. You can ask the guys. I was texting them. I was laughing. It was funny. But
yeah,
the thing is that it shows my point that you guys are extremely fickle and sensitive when I call WWE fans fickle or fragile. Because, the ones that were attacking me, I'm a big WWE guy. They know that. You guys know that.
yeah.
And I go, but the ones that were defending me were the AEW fans of all people. And they're supposed to be the guys with triple chins and crying about it. Hell, I spent money on going to Monday Night Raw on March 16th. So the funny part is that my feelings are never hurt. But it's just funny how much my point still stands, that y'all still suck.
Hmm. I want to take a look at this response right here
Let me see.
by Ex Tentacion. Uh, and I apologize, Saray, again. Shit was gay as fuck. Grown ass man pretending to be a vampire wrestler. Right. Super cool, dude. Shit's already fake and cringe at certain times. Now you got this AEW, PBS Kids, Cartoon Network, Disney asshole to make it worse. That shit was pointless as fuck. And then Blunt is better here. Fuck this circus show act. It worked in AEW for some reason. This ain't that. He needs to go home before things get worse. Uh, F you, dude. We don't need any more bullshit gimmicks in WWE. So, look, if we're gonna talk about this, I want to talk about the WWE. What are they missing right now? Go ahead. This is an open forum. What is the WWE missing right now?
Comedy.
Just
Something
general,
fresh.
Yep.
Something new.
fresh, something new. Ray, what do you think? Just your response, like separate from this. Just what is the WWE missing?
Direction.
Mm, great word. And look, you look at Danhausen, you watch whatever that debut was. Look, I'm not gonna say it was the best thing ever, but you look at that creative, you look at what happened there. This man is fresh, it's fun, it pops you, makes you laugh, and also there's a clear creative direction. The fact that you just saw this guy for 2 minutes and you already can nail it as, oh, this vampire, and also all that to say about bullshit gimmicks. What was The Undertaker? The Undertaker is one of the best characters that wrestling has ever given us. And if you break it down, he's a an undead man who He's a dead man walking who comes out, stares in front of everybody. Uh, it's silly. It's fun. Like no one is like you feel the aura because we all decide to play along in this beautiful thing called wrestling, this extension of theater, and to pick and choose what it is that we're going to allow into wrestling is exclusion. It's weird. And to be honest, it's kind of my problem with just wrestling as a whole and the discourse
Hmm.
around it is like we pick and choose what we allow, what we choose to allow. You know, we talk about the flippy dippy stuff. We talk about selling. We talk about this. We talk about that. It's just wrestling is all of it. So if you're gonna pick and choose when you want to complain about what, that's just lame to me. You're weird, and I don't want nothing with you. And a lot of responses in Ephraim's comments here were very weird behavior. Mr. CC, you had something?
So my only takeaway from all of it is what Ray said. He's like, man, people don't know how to have fun anymore.
Hmm.
Everyone wants serious product, and then they're complaining on their internet saying that they want something more serious, or they want something serious. It needs to be serious, and then they're like, "Well, I don't want it to be. I want to have some funny elements. Art Truth, Iguana, like those guys are all gimmick characters. But at any moment, look at Dom. Dom was a gimmick character at some point. Now look at him. He's in contending for a world title at some point. He's the former IC champion. Yes, I watched WD products, he marks. But my point is that you can turn anybody into a gimmick character to a star. Look at R Truth when he got released. He was fighting John Cena for the title. My point exactly. So you internet wrestling community idiots that think you guys know everything, you don't. Just shut up. Sit back and be a fan. Just quiet. Like yeah. It makes me more like I'm pretty sure y'all just don't shower anymore. Like like you need to watch it all the way. Understand that, and just sit back and be a fan. Listen to Triple H, even though we're big Triple H haters. And remember, we're we call it Vince McMahon fanboys or Triple H fanboys. What was it that we were once called?
McFan boys or something like that.
McFan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like again, we shown that product the most, and I think this shows you that we're not that. We're wrestling fans, and we watch everything besides WWE. So go outside, watch other wrestling, look at some grass. You know what I mean? Go do that.
Yeah. I look, we expecting you to touch the grass is doing too much. Just look at it. Even just look at it is good enough for us. Last thing I'll say here,
Or tell your mom to make you take a shower or something. I don't know. Go find a girlfriend.
go find some ladies or some men, depending on what you're into, which
Yeah.
was so accepted here. Like by all means. One thing I'll say, it was Sam Witwer, Darth Maul. He was Doomsday in Smallville. He's a great guy, ultra nerd. Love just what he represents in Star Wars. He was talking about his window theory, which is when you're growing up, you're just consuming all this stuff. You're liking what you like, you're resonating with certain things, or just like watching stuff that you're exposed to, you know? And at the end of the, you're liking everything. Everything you did, you're just consuming it for what it is, and you're like, okay, I understand what they're going for, this and that. And then once you get to like 13, 14, their teenage years, there's that little window of time where you're starting to be in the know of certain things. You're starting to get to know yourself, and you're starting to um, develop a taste for what you like. And then as you get older, you start to develop more of an ego and a pride of how things should go. And that's when you get into fantasy booking territory. And that's when things stop being less fun. Things start being less fun because now you start watching things with expectations uh, based on what you think is right, your ego, your pride. And so the window theory is, look, whatever you're watching, try to watch it from the standpoint of that little window of time where you're just accepting things as they were and just seeing you if you enjoyed it. So basically like watch things as if you were a kid. Try to put yourself, it wasn't that long ago. For me, it was 20 years ago that I was 7 years old. And I can still put myself in that frame of mind and be like, that's crazy. A vampire just kind of running around and doing crazy stuff. Like I find it so much more fun watching things like that. I don't know about my co-hosts. Feel free to jump in here, but You know, uh, Ephraim is going at y'all, so I'll kind of play good cop here. Is watch things if you're a kid, see if you like it, and trust me, it's a happier place to live in as opposed to going off on my guy in the comments for calling you guys out.
Stop being a
Sorry.
fucking mark, you nerds.
Yeah, Ray, I know you're a power of positivity type person, but even though we know your true intentions behind the scenes, um, what are you thinking? What
Brandon.
goes through your mind?
We've
Oh,
like it's just there's no more. You're not able to have fun anymore. And I get that aspect of like, okay, you're bringing in somebody, and he may not be a good wrestler, but it's like at this point, who cares as long as the character is good? Like you look at somebody like Roman, not to say he's not a bad wrestler, but what do we focus more about Roman? His character. We don't really care. We could care less about his wrestling abilities, but we care about his character, who he is and all that stuff. So I feel like this is one of those situations where you gotta let it grow. Like people hated Roman as was it the top dog
big dog.
or
Big
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 dog.
dog?
dog.
They hated him for so many years, and now look, all of a sudden, everywhere you go, acknowledge, everybody's loving Roman now. You got to let it grow and, just have fun with it. Enjoy the ride and see where it goes. And if it doesn't work out, hey, it doesn't work out. That's just how life is. And that's just how this wrestling business is. You're going to see what can work out. And or was it Vanhausen?
Danhausen.
Danhausen.
Danhausen. I've seen some of his stuff, and hey, when he needs to wrestle, he could wrestle. But he's a good, funny character, and kind of let's see where he goes. Don't just judge everything off of what a 2 minute entrance. Like, dude,
And
just
what one comment says on Threads or Twitter, like, let it be. It's new. And I
yeah,
get it.
like
Like what Chesco said, I get it. Like you're booing him because you don't know him, but go watch him. Go put some
yeah,
shit on to know him. Do your research. Don't be idiots and talk shit before you don't talk shit about something you don't know.
yeah,
If you don't know someone, you're not gonna talk shit about them because you don't know them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, come into things hoping for
open
the
minded.
best.
Be open minded.
Yes, thank you. Absolutely, Ray. That is something I think everyone needs to just hear about nowadays. Open-minded,
Yeah,
I
come at it
think
with
we
no
need
ego. Please, because I know I'm talking to a lot of dudes out there. Put your pride aside, man. Just enjoy the moment for what it is. Then
so
afterwards, we can have a conversation about it. But don't just judge something off the first the cover.
it's okay to put the finger in your butt. Like relax. It's not gonna hurt you. Be open minded.
Absolutely. 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 Maybe shake it around a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
have some fun.
Maybe you might like it. But my thing is I think we need to go back to if you got nothing nice to say, keep it to your damn self.
Absolutely.
I must have been the
Absolutely.
one that said all of that right now.
Said what? What did I say?
I ain't gonna say
Someone over there is not as open-minded as he'd like to believe.
it.
So with that being said, that's what we think about Danhausen. Thank you, Mr. CC, for humoring some very, very close-minded bullshit artists. Again, sorry, Ray, who I really don't know how to enjoy things. So look, as Mr. CC's fuck y'all and the click you claim,
You
and
got reincarnated into Tupac right there.
yeah. So I mean, look, that's how
I
we
want
feel.
I want this clip so I can post on my threads to be like, hey, by the way, so the guy that said that I have fucking dirt on my lip, no offense, Chesco, because I know you're from Cali, but he's a fucking Dodger fan. I want to hear shit from him. I'm pretty sure he's a fucking Laker fucking dick writer and a Dodger dick writer.
Laker fan is disgusting. Yeah, no, no. So I do not rock with that boy. I'm rocking with my boy right here. So
And my beard has been on your mom's coochie, so I don't want to hear shit from that Dodger fan.
yeah, hey, you suck. You suck. Well, your mother taught me how.
Exactly.
But no, yeah, that's how we're feeling. That's the vibe. Um, but yeah, super excited to see Danhausen, what he has to bring to WWE. And that being said,
And
Boy.
if you don't like him, you're cursed.
Mm.
Very,
Transitioning
very nice,
off.
very evil.
Very nice. Very even. So transitioning off of wrestling, boys. Let's kick off. Well, last week was the kickoff, but let's ring in our brand new segment, Days Till Daredevil. We are officially, as of recording this, the day that this comes out, 18 days away from Daredevil Born Again Season 2. And
Remind the viewers what day it comes out.
March 24th.
Mm,
And for the next couple of weeks, we're going to be talking about our boy, our hero, our patron saint. Well, let's call it the patron saint of this podcast,
my
Daredevil.
my lover, Matt Murdock. Matthew
Mm.
Michael Murdock.
And in order to ring in this segment, last week we talked about just the character, what they meant to us, the season 2 trailer, and season 1 of Born Again, and all this stuff. What are you smiling about, Ephriam?
But I am hoping Greg did his homework and he watched the video. I'm hoping he's like, oh, I don't watch it. I'm
So,
gonna
so with
laugh my
that,
ass.
before we get to that, we're gonna talk about Frank Miller and David Mazzucchelli's Daredevil Born Again, the legendary story. What many have said is one of the greatest Marvel storylines of all time. And we wanted to go ahead and just have a little book club discussion that you guys are happy to sit in on. Um, did everyone do their homework?
We'll see. We'll see.
It's a yes or no question, big dog.
Hey, we'll see. We will see.
By we, he means that even Ray himself will see if he did enough homework. Mr. CC, did you check out the legendary story?
Yes, I
Okay.
didn't get to finish it all. I got to like the last chapter of it
Okay.
before, and I was like, I'll leave it to interpretation. But like I said, I mean, my opinions always go based off the show as well. So, but like I said, this story is a big importance for Daredevil. So, when we dive into it, I'll go into it. But yeah,
Yeah. So just to start off here, um, Daredevil Born Again. I talked about this last week, but in my opinion, when a character is as fleshed out as Daredevil is, the main thing, or how do I say this? When a character is as fleshed out as Daredevil is and has so many aspects to him, when you talk about definitive stories, it's got to be a story where everything is like working in synergy with each other and creating the story and is pushing the plot forward. And to me, as we talked about last week, Daredevil is so many things. He is persistence, he's pain, he's this his the being the underdog, but also his faith. And just from the title alone, just from some of the covers, um, you see that religious aspect of his character in in full effect. And so to me, like just to start off, this is an iconic story because it's not just a superhero story, it also tells a story about just us as humans, you know. And so to start it off, obviously, not so obviously, maybe you haven't read this book in that case, just come here, just stick around and then maybe if you like it enough, pick up a copy, go to Marvel Unlimited, read it on up on it, and who knows? But basically, it's a story about Karen Page, who, if you watch the show, is a lover, a friend, coworker. She moves out of New York City in order to become an adult film actress. And is looking for one last hit of heroin and unfortunately sells out Matthew Murdock's identity as Daredevil to someone who ends up and then leading it to giving it to Kingpin, who is Daredevil's arch rival, and shenanigans ensue. So yeah, with that being said, we're not gonna get too like plot but beat by beat into it, but just sort of discussing the story and our experience with it. Mr. CC.
yeah, you have to go first.
Yeah.
I mean, with the story itself, I want to go into the point of it's heavily. You can tell Daredevil season 3 takes heavy inspiration from the story of
Yep.
Born Again. I think a lot of Daredevil fans understand that, especially when I think a lot of people watched Defenders, or some of them did, where the building falls down on Matt, and I guess it's a good little subtraction, and especially where it's like or interpret. I guess what's the word for it? They replaced it. That's the best way to put it. Is they replaced that with Matt, ultimately dying in the hands of the Kingpin in the story. When they find out when Matt Murdock, they blow up his house. Matt goes insane, beats the shit out of people, tries to fight the Kingpin, and Kingpin pretty much breaks him down to the person because he knows how weak he is in that moment.
Yep.
So I think that's a good little mix off of how great season 3 was of Daredevil on Netflix, and I think also with Matt relearning who he is as a fighter, and trying to go back to his dad and finding his roots of what made him Daredevil and Matt Murdock.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. I think one of the plots I like is Matt just kind of losing his mind and trying to talk to Foggy and trying to figure out, in this comic, like, hey, like I'm losing my mind here. Someone help me. And I'm going, I think everyone's working for Fisk. I think this is this. And, it's a great homage to what a character goes through being a hero. Because we never really see it with Spider-Man at some points, like that low of a story. We see it with Logan, we see it with Punisher, but like with Daredevil, it just hits different because, he doesn't know who he is. So he's losing his mind. He doesn't trust anybody. And I think that's such a great, dynamic of who Daredevil is and Matt Murdock as a person. All his, you call it, attributes, every trait that he has, in that moment, he's not Daredevil, he's not Matt Murdock. He doesn't know who he is. So I think that's such a great thing, and that the more that I've read the story and listened to it and watch people talk about it, and watching Daredevil season 3 back again, it's kind of like, damn, there's so much inspiration from this comic to this. Because when I watched it first, I was like, oh, okay, cool. But I didn't understand the importance of the comic and what it had on the show, especially with the bullseye dressing up as Daredevil and killing, an entire room full of cops in the season. And then having that story plot in the comic where Fisk is trying to hire someone in that Daredevil costume as a serial killer. So like stuff like that blows my mind.
Yeah. And as you said, like this definitely defined Daredevil season 3, and especially like the paranoia, I think is the word that I'm circling on, is yeah, you really see a man at his lowest low, and I'll spoil an aspect of it because I think it's so interesting and really puts you in the mind of Matt Murdock. Is he's talking to Foggy on the phone, as you said, and is laying out all his deepest thoughts, and then you find out, oh, he wasn't even on call with anybody. He was just kind of
Mm-hmm.
hallucinating. Or there's a scene where he's shelled up at a hotel after his whole life falls apart. Literally, he's disbarred as a lawyer, he's evicted, all this stuff. And the hotel manager comes in and says, "Hey man, we could use your payment." And he ends up thinking, "Oh, this is a kingpin's like agent." Fucks him up and runs, and it's like, dude, you was just, like you really start to. I think that's what I love about Daredevil and Matt Murdock, is that how flawed he is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and he doesn't get any sort of excuse. Like, yes, he's visually impaired. However, that's never been like the defining aspect of his character to me. It's just been a cool aspect of like, oh, he does all this while blind. But to me, it's the fact that he's human and so flawed and so like prone to make mistakes. It's what makes he is to me like one of my favorite protagonists, just because he does have so much to him, like such a complex man. And yeah, Ray, I wanted to just open it up for whatever you wanted to talk about Daredevil Born Again. What did you take away from it? What were some of your favorite moments?
I gotta say that Kingpin is gotta be a top hater of all time. Bro blew up his house, sent the IRS after him, not to even mention took away his like license to lawyer. And I'm like, dude, like Kendrick has nothing on that guy for being hater, like a number one hater. But I do like the premise of, I think it's middle towards the end. I haven't read the comic books. I just saw the video that y'all sent. But I think it's, I guess middle end towards the end is when Matt's reinventing himself,
Yeah.
and he's starting to figure out who he is. And then of course at some point the Avengers get involved, and you kind of
Mm.
see like him, I guess, helping out, but trying like, I couldn't understand it from the video aspect of it, but like they're trying to help and see who is after it. Also, James Jonah Jameson's in it. He has a scene and he's talking with the reporter. He's like, "Look, you're a reporter. You have a lot of power. We have a lot of power as reporters to bring somebody down." And that aspect is like it's true. And that I forget the reporter's name. It's like
Ben
Freud or
Urich.
something. Bryn Urich. There you go.
Yeah,
But
Re-
I
re- Rest in peace, goat.
the GOAT.
hate to see it. But it was an interesting story, especially the first one, and how it ends is kind of the I like the video. Where it's like now Kingpin knows fear again, and that's a great premise to have. It's like a guy who's on top of the world, and he thinks he's gotten rid of his arch enemy. He's gotten away with so many things, just to figure out no, that guy's still alive, and he's coming for you. Especially now that he knows that you framed him.
Mm,
You don't want to kick a man who's willing to, who doesn't have anything left, who's
And I,
trying to reinvent himself on that.
I think too with that part and that last season where when he puts on, Matt loses the suit, because Bullseye has it in the show, and you finally see in the part where Matt puts on his old black key with his old mask and all that, and
yeah.
he tells Fist, I beat you, like I beat you, like all this shit you've put me through, I finally beat you. This is my moment to beat you. And I think that story, Born Again, has such a, like I said, a big impact on that season. And you can feel it when you read it. You're like,
Yeah.
damn, you can tell the writers knew what they were doing with this comic and with the show. And it makes you kind of like, wow. Because, mind you, like Chesco, I've been a big Daredevil fan since Ben Affleck Daredevil.
Yeah.
Like, I had the soundtrack, I had the movie. Like, I was a big fan. That scene when he comes out of the bath, listen to Seether, that's always been like my dream moment to do that.
Hmm.
Like it was such a moment to see like, if people care about Matthew Michael Murdock the way that comic book fans do, it's great to see in a show. So and reading the story kind of made me go like, damn, yeah, like Daredevil is right up there with Spider-Man to be that best character for me in Marvel.
Absolutely. And again, just to kind of nail the point home, because I think we all, as we discussed last week, we really appreciate sort of the tragedy of this character, and especially how it deals with spirituality. How it's no secret how a lot of the covers from this comic run has to do with if you're you believe in Catholicism, you know exactly what I'm going to reference as the 13 stages of the cross, the stations of the cross, excuse me, and that is like all the time the moments leading up to Jesus's crucifixion. So like, I'm going to be a little pretentious here, and if you're not watching on YouTube, watch on YouTube, but you see like this progression, right? Matt Murdock laying down, Matt Murdock being saved by who we come to find out is someone very important to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then, he's standing now and doing this thing. And then, of course, like we get the big shot that's like the iconic shot of Daredevil where he's reborn in the fire of the city, after he's called back to action. And, I just think about the progression this story takes us. It's so amazing. Like it is honestly the most story in a story you'll ever get. Like you really go through it, and to see a character like Daredevil be able to explore, what it means to be human, and the fact that the story ends. There is a big fight, as Ray mentions, with the Avengers coming in and sort of helping out, but the ending is of Matt Murdock and Karen Page holding hands, hand in hand together, smiling, finally forgiving each other and themselves. And I think that's what it means. That to me, I would love to ask this question to you guys. But to me, what I took away from this is that we're all capable of being forgiven and forgiving. Is Karen at the beginning of the story sells out Matt's identity, which is very sacred to him, leads him to the biggest crash out of his life. And by the end of the story, they're able to walk hand in hand and be friends again. And meanwhile, Karen, like I'm sure I forget the context. I don't know what the context is within the rest of the comic runs, but I'm sure Matt has lied to her and done all this stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
and now they walk hand in hand, and because they love each other and because they vibe on a level, and they realize like, hey, this connection we have, it's more worth more to me than all this other bullshit that's been happening the last 2 weeks. And so that's what I take away from it. And also that we are worthy of being forgiven, you know, regardless of whatever we're holding on our shoulders, we can we're still human, there's still light, there we still contribute things to people that make us worthy
And and
of
it's also okay to sin on thing. It's okay to mess up and sin, but now to be forgiven towards the end is the best way I look at it. Is that
yeah.
there's always a way to forgive someone, or you know, I guess that's the best way.
Yeah, yeah, we are human at the end of the day, and part of being
Yeah,
human is making mistakes, or just, yeah, just sinning. I think there sinning is so broad, Some of them are mistakes, some of them are just humanity. So yeah, I would love to just hear about what and also it's crazy. Nuke is such a crazy
oh yeah,
concept of a character that goes berserk depending on what pill he takes. It's
yeah.
such an insane concept to me. So I mean, yeah, man. Uh, what was something that like a favorite scene for you guys? Do you have a favorite sequence or just moment, something that hit home for you?
I think I don't know if it's really a scene. It's the cover with Matt on the floor with the nun has always been something visually that I've always enjoyed because it kind of talks about the humanity of man. Is at the end of the day, we'll sin, we'll go through so much, but God or Jesus will kind of help bring us back and be reborn in that aspect. And even I know you showed it, I think it was the saved picture. That's
Yeah, him with the boxing
right.
thing. Yeah,
That
yeah, yeah.
that's always been another great one that I've always enjoyed visually because again, as somebody trying to find faith and in that aspect, it shows that it is possible. You don't have to, be withheld or you don't have to be to the knocked down so many times. You could be saved. You're able to overcome it. And that's always been visually, that's what I've always enjoyed. In terms of moment, I think personally, it's just because it's biasy. It's probably like when the Avengers come in, just in that frame of like, oh shoot, you're
Nope.
you're you're thinking you're getting
Hmm.
exactly, you're thinking you're
No.
getting just Daredevil and the threat that I believe Nuke that level that was brought into this story. You're like you never would have thought it was a an Avenger level threat. So I think for me, it would have to be those.
Did anybody else picture Jake Gyllenhaal in their head saying it?
Has to be an Avengers level threat. Yeah, man. And also, just to bring it up, just because I brought it up earlier, this is the shot I'm talking about. This is the iconic Daredevil, panel where, yeah, after all this stuff, after all that,
I
After
knew he was
all
gonna.
that,
and it's a surprising part because he ends up, if you guys remember, he retires pretty much. Like he's working in a diner. He's just kind of chefing it up. Imagine Matt Murdock chefing up your eggs and waffles in the morning and your sausages or whatever. And then obviously shit goes down with Nuke and yeah, he gets called back into action because that's what a hero does. And yeah, no, I think about that a lot. Very that's an iconic moment for sure. Mr. CC, what is there a moment to you that strikes out to you? It doesn't necessarily have to be your favorite, just a moment that struck out to you.
You said it earlier, and when you said it too, is when Matt's kind of losing his mind and he's talking to Foggy on the phone, and
Yeah.
that phone is just hanging there, and he's like, "There's no one there." Like the amount of insanity it takes for a man to break. Not a lot of people know that is that it takes a level amount of a lot of shit to happen to a man for them to break. Because
Yeah.
men are always taught to be the protector, the provider. That man is supposed to keep their head on their shoulders. In order for him to break, it must be that serious, and him to go that crazy and always feel like someone's paranoid, like someone's always watching him, or he has to watch over his back. It's such a strong, important message to understand that like one person can take a man to snap, even if it's a lover or someone that he once loved. And I'm pretty sure a lot of men experience that. It's like it's such a powerful scene to see like how much Matt relies on his friends
Yeah.
to help him. Sorry, I almost choked on my fucking spit. That's why it's not like I wasn't crying. it's okay to crack, but my point is that yeah, you can tell the importance of Matt relying on his friends, and he's trying his best to get a grounded situation to have someone to talk to, and this man is just going insane, and he's trying to figure out his life because it is going to shit, and he's going to his breaking point, and like I said, him leading up to getting to fight Kingpin and getting his ass beat, it's kind of like, damn, like that much power over someone can break him and make him physically weak. And it's crazy to see. And I honestly, that's what I get from that little part of Alone. I was like,
Mm.
so yeah, that's uh, I don't know. It's deep. It's a deep part.
Yeah, I think about I thank you for sharing that because I've thought about that a lot. I was watching this video with one of my favorite video essayists, FD Signifier, and he was talking about this narrative that is put upon, men, particularly in the context of what he was talking about, black and brown men, that oh, the good ones, who are the good men, you know, um, and how harmful that narrative can be on good men
Mm-hmm.
is the narrative of, oh, you kind of have to uphold the standard. You have to single-handedly raise the standard of men because our nature in life is to be monsters. That history of years and decades and eons of history have proven that if given free reign, us dudes will more than likely choose the most evil path, And so for I can confidently say for us three men who are constantly trying to grow and subvert that expectation and try to be better and try to grow, which is why I think this story hits home for us, is that shit can drive you crazy
Mm-hmm.
sometimes because the world is what it is, because sometimes the life is kicking us in the balls, is that sometimes like we start to, in our own ways, whatever it may be, crash out. Like I'll be vulnerable in terms of last year, the last 6 months of 2025. I was quite reclusive. I was quite to myself. I was very isolated, and isolating. I was actively trying to isolate myself from the people I love, because there was a friend who I needed to cut off. I hadn't gotten there yet. The world was going crazy and this and that and the other. And so all that to say, the reason why I bring that up is because I think for young men who are going through shit and life is lifing, and maybe you're being pushed to give into what I feel like is man's nature is to disappoint and disappoint ourselves. This book right here to me is the counter argument to that. It is an expression of what that looks like when you crash out, where you start isolating, cutting off people and you cut off the wrong people, or and this and that. And then also how you get back to it, how you can maybe go reconcile with your friends who maybe had some sort of falling out or disagreement with, how you can overcome the demons both outside and inside yourself. So yeah, thank you for sharing that, Mr. Cece. I had to like just tack on a little bit of because that hit me as well. So
It's true, and I think that's where Daredevil represents a lot of young guys. That's why I think it's very popular with media now. Well,
yeah,
especially Matt Murdock's character, is that people question their faith. People don't feel like they're worthy of their faith. People don't understand, like, hey, it takes a lot to be a guy. And I'm not saying anything bad here. We understand that women go through stuff as well.
absolutely, yeah,
And I mean, again, I'm the hugest woman sport. Do whatever you need to do for yourself to feel safe and do what's right for you. But at the end, like, guys have to be a little more bottled up for it. We have to be quiet. We have to keep our head on the shoulder. We have to keep a dry eye because, that's what we're taught to do since a young age from our fathers, from our grandfathers, from our teachers, from our other people that are teaching us stuff in life is that we have to, even the wrestlers that we watch, like, we have to be, this toxic, like this masculine energy.
or not
And
have to, but like we're programmed
yeah,
just
we're
from
programmed.
generations.
Yeah,
That's how we're programmed,
to
and
be this toxic energy, and we don't want that.
yep,
And seeing Matt Murdock suffer through his going through his faith, questioning it, and understanding what it is, him having people turn on him, which I'm pretty sure all of us have been through that. People dragging our name through the dirt So seeing Matt, a comic book character, and seeing it relate to us is kind of like, you know, maybe it's not just, there's room to grow, there's room to breathe, and there's time to be reborn and to figure out who we are now. And I think that's a really thing that we need to say is that there always is a moment for us to be reborn and, take that deep, fresh breath air again.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you do get that moment where the ending of the Born Again comic of Matt and Karen smiling, doesn't have to be you and a loved one. It can just be you walking, enjoying, like being present and like
Mm-hmm.
finally being able to feel the sun hits your skin and it feels right. It's a beautiful feeling. And that's when you can definitely say like, hmm, I was born again and I grew into a better man. And that's what I'm hoping everyone takes away from it. And, again, if you haven't read Daredevil Born Again, I think the three of us can all agree that it's definitely worth it's such a worthy read. Even there's videos about it on YouTube, as Ray knows. So, yeah, this is a for me an important story. And it's really why I love comics is that they can tell these stories that hit home for all of us, before it was Greek mythology, Shakespeare, theater, and now one of those was comic book. So yeah, man. Ray, is there anything you wanted to add before as we start to round third here?
I mean, I think y'all have said it. Everything I was thinking and everything that I had to say, you guys have said everything that I was thinking. So you guys know it on the head.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and also the art is beautiful.
Yep.
It's I was watching a video about just like fun facts about the Daredevil Frank Miller's run. And he was one of the people, he actually originated the whole what the Batman animated series did in terms of starting from a black background and then drawing on top of it so that way it's based in like this darkness, as opposed to drawing on a blank white background. So they took that style and that's how you get all these crazy like noir. Let me see if I can just randomly flip to one. Well, okay, I know I used this already, but yeah, like here, like it's based in darkness, but then they color in the fire and the light. And that to me is like, Batman and Daredevil, they're two sides of the same coin to me. Both are characters that deal with a lot of deep trauma and in some ways are emotionally stunted, some ways are very grown. So,
I
yeah,
mean,
again,
you always find darkness, you always find light in darkness, which I've always, resonated with.
yeah.
And that's what I've always resonated with Daredevil is that he will always find light in the darkness that he goes through. So I think that's why it's like you keep pushing, you keep trying, no matter what it is. And I think that the entire show from Netflix to Disney, it represents Matt Murdock in such a beautiful way that you don't have to do things by that whole scene on top of the roof of Punisher. You know what I mean? Talking about it,
Yeah.
saying like, "No, Frank, you don't got to kill him." And Matt's trying to be like, "No," and Frank's like, "Yeah, like we're one bad day for him being me." Like, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And Matt's
Hmm.
like, "No, there's always a way around it." And I think that's a lot of thinking that there's always one bad day, but there's always going to be a light in that darkness on that bad day. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And whatever dark chapter you're in your life, if you hang in there, again, the boxer sort of metaphor, if you hang in there long enough, get to the 12th round, eventually that bell's gonna ring and you'll be able to take a breath eventually. So yeah, Daredevil Born Again, great comic. Happened led to a great season of television. In my opinion, the best piece of superhero media ever is Daredevil season three.
mm-hmm.
And we're getting a fantastic show in Daredevil Born Again, and season two is coming up. So yeah, if you're in the mood, go check this out. You won't regret it. With that being said, boys, sharpshooter. Ray, what question do you have for us?
Oh God.
What? You're calling me? All right. I gotta go, guys. It was nice talking with y'all.
well,
I'm looking right at the viewer here. You see this? You see this, Ray?
why there a giant toy in the back that's
Oh,
shaped weirdly?
I know. You think that's why he got quiet regarding the whole fingers in the butts
Yeah,
thing.
and now
Yeah.
we got him back.
Okay, okay. Anyways, Ray, do you have a question for us?
Heck no. I did my research.
I just I'm holding back my tongue. Mr. CC, please just ask us a question before I go on my Matt Murdock crash out. For me, it's just the fact that Ray goes, heck no. Like he's like actively resisting thinking
He's
of a question.
The day I have it is the day, I don't know. It's gonna be a crazy day. I'll just
the
say
Open up
day
the
you
that.
get
open up
pregnant.
the schools, dog. Open up the schools, man. The U.S. education system is failing us before our very eyes. We're 31 episodes into this, and I hope you guys can see what I see. Anyways, Mr. CC, I'll go to you. What's the question that's on your mind?
Um, I'm trying to think of a comic one because I want to stay in the Daredevil like comic realm,
Yeah.
but I don't know if I've really asked it before, so I'm trying to like think through the episodes as I go. Um, I guess excluding Daredevil, which I don't want to like put him in there because we just had a whole conversation about how important he is.
Hmm.
So I kind of want to mix up the questions here,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
mix up the answers. Is what fictional comic book character has made you feel some type of way of progressing in life, like make you to be a better man, make you feel something different?
Ooh. Ooh, I got my answer. Is
And if you want to go first, you're more than welcome to.
Sure, yeah. I'll just get mine out of the way because I think it's kind of boring and it's adjacent to Daredevil. I really f feel a way about Dick. Why are
Excuse
you
me.
laughing, Ray? I'm talking about Dick Grayson, dog. Relax. Get your head out the gutter. I really like I really like Nightwing. I mean even his time as Robin, and I think about that key storyline, right, of him leaving Batman's guidance, who was his paternal figure, and then um, developing into his own man and growing into his own man, finding out what works for him that's different from Batman, taking things from Batman that maybe he should
Ray, you're
transfer
next, by the way.
over. Yeah, you're next. Popcorn Ray. But yeah, for me, Nightwing, I've always resonated with him because to me, Dick is someone who is constantly holding himself to the standard of Batman, his father, and I find even to this day, I find myself thinking about my dad a lot in that context of like, ooh, I've got to do the things that I want to do differently from him, different, and there are certain things that I want to live up to, and that pressure can be a lot, but also, again, similar to Daredevil, but I like that Nightwing. He's like a lot more than he lets on. It's like you see him, you think he's gonna be like a Batman type, but no, he's actually like he's a romantic. He's like a James Bond type character. Like he's always kind of macking with people and talking and chill and but also can be stern. So yeah, no, Nightwing, he's a character in terms of growth. I definitely have resonated with a lot because, we all reach that point where we see our mentors or our idols for who they are as humans, for their flaws and all, and then we're like, oh, we can be better. We can be better than this. And so, yeah, for me, Nightwing. How about you, Popcorn Ray?
This might be a cop-out answer or a basic answer just because I haven't like got into comic books like that since I was younger, but Superman.
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 I knew
Um
it.
But
I
yeah,
and I
very
and
valid
I
answer.
and I
Yeah.
say that because, outside of like the animated shows, kind of Smallville in a sense, it was
Mhm.
like Uncle
Pa Kent.
Pa Kent, there you go. Like I know it's not like Superman, but it's his journey to becoming that, who he is, and kind of him learning those lessons, and even kind of really in comic books too, from what I read, is you see Superman kind of save somebody from, I don't know if I could say this on YouTube, but like suicide.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Saving somebody from suicide or
Yeah, for sure.
always always trying to see the best route. You don't always have to, kill your enemy or do this stuff. And I guess you could say he's optimistic. And that's somebody that I've always strived to be. I've always been somebody that's like a believer of everybody deserves a second chance. Everybody, you want to give benefit of the doubt. And so Superman for me has always been somebody like you don't always have to be like a brooding Batman character or no, they did this or oh they did that. Let me break their arms in five different ways. Like there's always hope that it could get better. It's just you need to be that light. You need to be that person to be that start of there's a change will come, something will change. And Superman for me has always been that pillar.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're witnessing like a shift in Superman media to showcase,
Hmm.
hey, this guy is so much more relatable than you guys think, you
Right.
know? Yeah, because at the end of the day, like controversial take, comic fans, you can kill me. I would say even if given the choice, even Batman wouldn't want to be Batman. Like you said, like the brooding character, the like always lurking in the night, pushing himself away from people he loves. Batman, the a lot of Batman adaptations, he is saying like, I don't want you to be me. I want you to be better. And Superman, he's the one character, one of the few characters who is someone you'd actually want to be, like legitimately want to be, even outside of his powers, just who he is as a man, as a just a
Yeah.
human, and not even as a human, as a person, as an alien, whatever you call it. You want to be like Superman.
There's even a panel, funny enough, I saw today. I don't know which comic book run it was, but it's Batman, Superman, and somebody else. And it's the guy he's talking, and he's like, "Oh, um, something about I wasted my potential, or there goes all the potential I have." And Superman is like, "No, like you still have potential. Like don't."
Mm,
And that's something clicked with me. It's like we could say, "Oh, we blew it on this," or "Oh, we did that," but it's like no, like we
mm,
still have that. Don't be brooding about it. Don't, be negative. It's you got this. You still got this. And I feel like, that's something we've been missing a lot nowadays. I mean, with everything going on, but
mm,
it's nice to have that like, yeah, you're right. Like kind of like feeling like a kid again. Like, you're like, yeah, I got this. I could do this and so on. But for me, it would have to be Superman.
100%. Great answer. Great answer. We go to Mr. C. C.
So mine's not a character; it's more of a team. And I think most of y'all would probably figure out who it is. And it's sort of basic, but it's not basic. It's a left field question, in my opinion, or answer is the X Men comics.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mm,
Yep.
And the reason why I say that is because growing up, yes, I mean, you get the confidence as you get older. But growing up, I was always a shy, nervous kid because I had a lot of issues going on, and nothing like personal, nothing like a sickness or anything like that. I wouldn't put that out there. Nothing like that. I know people suffer through more. They have their own stuff, but growing up, I've always had like this weird, like really bad dry skin, and it made me have like little cheetah prints on my legs and stuff like that. And yes, it's
mm,
fixable, but as a kid, I didn't know what it was at the time. And really, my parents used to tell me what it was, but of course, you're a kid. But kids used to make me feel like I was an outcast for it and called me cheetah. And then I used to be very skinny and white complected and very, very skinny, like very skinny,
mm,
and really dark bag under my eyes. And my mom used to shave my head. So I was always called Cancer Kid, and I was always into the weird stuff like wrestling, comic books, nerdy stuff, but also into you know like a little more of a horror stuff before it was actually cool,
mm,
Ghostface stuff like that. And I always felt like an outsider at my schools. And this is when I'm younger. As I got older, you find your friends and group of people. But the X Men comics always made me feel like I was, at peace. And I was always a little shorter and a little less muscle mass towards the other boys in class. So I used to get
mm,
made fun of for that. So, being short always resonated with Wolverine, of course, as a character.
mm.
Always feeling the short man with a chip on his shoulder, always trying to be better, try to strive for the people you like. or for the people you love, you try to be better for them, and that's who I've always resembled with. And I want to cop on and take Spider Man's up there too. You know what I mean? Because
Absolutely, he's a mutant. Yeah.
like but Spider Man always had that issue where he was kind of like he doesn't know what he's doing. He's just a kid, and I think
Yeah.
growing up, we try to figure that out as much as we can. Juggling a job, being a superhero, trying to figure out how to have a trying to find the love of your life. Are you trying to do it? Trying to pay the bills, trying to help your parents, And I think Spider Man is another good example for me. I'm trying not to cop out with two answers, but the X Men was always there to be, and Spider Man was always there to kind of like. Those are the comics I was able to get lost in and make me feel like, yeah, I can do this. I can be an outsider, do things a different way, like these guys can, and be different.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, I'll add one more here. Not a comic, but a comic book movie. I really fucking love Thunderbolts.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
Thunderbolts, the new Avengers. Oh, that movie, I think if you have lived, if you've like grown up at all, you will understand that movie hits at such a deep, visceral
Hmm.
way of like just little moments like, you know, John Walker when he gets up on they're trying to make it up the elevator and they get up the elevator, he's on the platform and you just see him kind of look down and he gets like a little like intrusive thought. He's like, what if I jumped? Or we see all the flashbacks, we see all their darkest the things that they hold uh to themselves too, like their
Their
shame.
deep dark secrets.
Yeah, yeah, their shame rooms. If you guys watch Big Mouth, yeah, you get to see a little bit of that, and that will just always hit home for me. And yet somehow you find your family because of all your traumas, in spite of all your traumas. So yeah,
And I want to throw out there, Miles Morales is a great one too.
yeah,
Especially in these new movies coming out with him trying to. He was not supposed to be Spider Man. That's this whole thing is that
mm,
he was never supposed to be big. And everyone's like, you're not supposed to do it. Like he's like, your dad's supposed to die. And he's like, no, I'm not gonna let that happen. And that shows a hero, and that shows difference in people. And I mean, again, we pretty much all think the same. The three of us, you know what I mean? We all have
yeah,
that same mindset. Of, there's other ways to do things, and letting someone die is just not one of them. And that's what heroes do. But I think any character that we read, we resemble ourselves in them. Like shit, I was even gonna say John Constantine, because as much as he's so messed up and dark, he tries to do his best to help what he can. But even though that he's a trickster, I mean, it's part of his nature. But when he sees something that's immoral, he tries his best.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Loki season 2, he's fighting his better nature. And I think we all feel that way where sometimes we're like, are we the fuck up here? And so we have to sort of course correct. And yeah, I think those stories will always last the test of time, which is why I'm such a firm believer. Comic books, if you give the kids, young adults, the right comic books, it'll change your life. So
Just don't give him X-Men Carnage or anything like that. Well, let them avoid that.
don't
Read
give
Spider.
them Marvel Ultimatum if you guys have seen that storyline. It's the one where the Blob eats the Wasp, and it's just like a bunch of people die, and it's the crazy. No one stay away from those ones. Go check
Avoid
out.
injustice too. Don't
Ooh.
don't do
Ooh, see,
injustice.
okay, that'll be a sharp Ray. If you want to look, I'm going to hand you a sharpshooter question for next week. Best and worst comic book storylines in your opinion, okay? Just
No.
Oh
when I
my
come back
god!
to it, when we come back to it next week, when we run back this episode, another episode, just I'll throw it to you and you just word for word say exactly what I said, okay?
Nah.
What the fuck?
I mean, if we're not gonna do it, worst comic storyline is the one with fucking Quicksilver and Wanda being brother, like just
Ugh, how they do
incest.
it too? How they do it in the hot tub too?
Yeah,
Ugh.
let's cut that out. Let's cut that
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's sharpshooter, and that is this week's episode of
And
Kayfabe and
any
Chill.
and any of these fucking wrestling marks like that fucking storyline, you fucking weirdos. You
Ugh.
fucking weirdos. I don't want to hear shit.
I don't know what our look. We've done enough videos and gotten enough subscribers to where I feel like our subscribers are like not Alabama, inbred type vibe. I feel like
Sister
we've
fuckers.
Yeah, yeah. So I feel like I'm hoping that none of you guys are weird. Which by the way, if you're from California, you know, being called weird is fighting words. But also on the word on in the same vein of that, you know, Ephraim mentioning like feeling out of place. Also there's a different connotation to weird. Short tangent here. Weirdos are cool. Weirdos can be cool. There's a version of the word weird where it just means you're one of one, man. You're unique and just know,
Just join the loser club. In the words of Stephen King, and it
yeah,
the loser club.
yeah. You know, you're unique, you're genuine to yourself,
Right? Why are
and
you looking at me like that for? Don't think of that, you fucking weirdo.
right,
You brought up Stephen King. I was about to pull a receipt. I was like,
You're about to. He's about
brother,
to run a what?
you talk,
hey, you brought up Stephen King. I was like, I think that's a
all we
poor
did was talk
example.
about Stephen King. Ray, you had some, where'd you go, Ray?
Mine in the gutter 24/7,
Nah,
man.
nah, nah. All
Or
right,
should we
let's
say
wrap it up.
mind in
It's
the
past my
sewers?
bedtime.
Should we say
It's
mind
past
in
my
the
bedtime.
sewers? Ray. All right, Ray, look. You know what, Ray? You didn't come up with a question, so I'm not gonna let you have the benefit of closing this episode out. God, he just does not want to do anything for this. Ephraim, how would you like to end this episode? Especially being that you had the big thing the big thing, just period. But also that you had to, you know,
Big.
talk to these bitches. That's right. I'll say it. One time, how would you like to end off this episode? I'll let you have the last word.
I mean, I appreciate y'all watching. To the ones that actually understand what we talk about, I appreciate y'all tuning in, voting on the polls. I try to give y'all as much love as I can because I feel like you guys make us, and we want to do right by y'all. So we appreciate y'all tuning in. I hope you like this week's episode. We hope you watch next week's episode, and we hope Ray can come up with a question for a sharpshooter at some point in his life, because most likely the segments are going to come down to me every day, every Wednesday. But yeah, we hope you have a good time. And to the internet marks online that said I was crybaby, mind y'all. We out. And run that back. We out. Ray, flick it off. Flick it off, Ray!
Bitches.